Good evening, folks. This is Ron Tyler with the Emergency Management Associates.
Hitting the Earth is located around 3.5 miles southeast of the Earth now. The solar wind is also
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody here that's joined us on this program tonight. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is Emergency Management Associates. My name is Ron Tyler. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. As we've been doing for quite some time, we're going to start this program off by a salute to the United States of America, since that's where we're here, where we're at. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance and the United States National Anthem. I would ask now that everybody please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now would you make welcome straight from Washington, D.C., the United States Army Corps Quartet.
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
Let them know it. Let them know it. The United States Army Barbershop Quartet singing at the Barbershop Quartet Convention in 2015. The host of the Barbershop Quartet Convention gave us the national anthem, and we so appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. So appreciate that. We want to thank the young men and women of the United States military for what they do for us. It's an honor for me to tell our United States military members that I meet, thank you for your service, because that's exactly what we do. We want to thank them for their service. They're the ones that have sacrificed their lives and their time to serve our country. Not just to serve our country, ladies and gentlemen, but to help protect us. To help protect us. That is what is most important, at least in my book. Folks, I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, and I hope everybody here agrees with that as well. This is my philosophy. This is the way I was brought up, to respect our military. No, the military is not what it used to be, but it's still there to protect us at this point in time. And those men and women in our armed forces here in the United States, and there are allies, wherever they might be. Thank you for your service, and may you all return home safely when your tours of duty end. We appreciate all that you do for us, and thank you for your service, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you all. Folks, we have a jam-packed loaded program. For those that are joining us now that got cut off from our program last night, we had a bolt of lightning with 32 minutes into our program last night. 32 minutes and 30 seconds, actually. A bolt of lightning just outside my home here, and the thunder rapidly followed within a second. And I think it was probably a split second, because it was at that point our show got cut off. I immediately shut down all the electronics in the office here. We were without power until late into the night, and I did not want to disturb anybody at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, I think it was, when the power got restored. But I want to thank you all for watching our program last night. We had 2 hours worth of material, and it didn't get shown last night. We had nearly 900 views to the program last night, and we greatly appreciate that. There's a lot of material in that 30 minutes that we talked about. Folks, I want to talk to you about some other things that have happened today and even yesterday. We'll get into that as well. Today, over in the right-hand top of this slide here, you see what came out as a 5.5 magnitude earthquake this morning at approximately 2:34 a.m. 2:34 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay? That earthquake hit near oh gosh. Oh, that's weird. I know exactly where it happened. My brain had a brain fart, went out one ear and out the other. It was near Eureka, Nevada, and it hit. It nailed it. Came out as a 5.5. Now, USGS subsequently downgraded it to a 5.1 and then downgraded it again to 4.6. Okay? That's nearly a full magnitude downgrade by anyone's standards. 0.9% downgrade. Okay? That was a 90% downgrade. So folks, I want to show you something. Okay? I want to show you what happened here. This is the earthquake as it appeared on the USGS map. Okay? Then I went to the seismological seismologist study page on USGS. Just as I thought that I had this screenshotted, all of a sudden USGS changed it. It disappeared, I thought. Well, guess what? I recovered the screenshot. I want to show you what happened. Okay? This is what happened. This is what they downgraded it to. Notice there's only 4 stations. Only 4 stations left out of 14 that originally reported this quake. Okay? They downgraded this to a 4.6. They're saying only 4 stations were able to come to this conclusion. A 4.4, 4.5, a 4.7, and a 5.0. Well, guess what, guys? USGS screwed up. I also recovered the 5.5 quake. This is it as downgraded to a 5.1. Okay? 14 stations reporting. 14 stations reporting. I want to show you this. Okay? I'm going to enlarge this a little bit more here so you can see what I'm talking about. I think everybody needs to see this. Okay? Let's just enlarge it a little bit more. Up at the top, you see it was downgraded from 5.5 to 5.1 at the top left. It says 14 stations reporting. Noble Frog just gave us another $10 super chat. I want to thank you for that. God bless you. We appreciate that. Okay, notice there's 14 stations reporting here. Okay? Let's scroll up. We have a 5.5, another 5.5, a 5.0, a 4.5, a 5.5, a 4.7, a 5.1, 5.4, 4.4, 4.8, 5.0, 5.3, 5.4, and a 5.0. Okay? 14 stations reporting. Where did they come up with 4 stations reporting? Where did they come up with it? This is the United States Geological Survey lying to the public. Out and out lying to the public. They decided to downgrade it, folks. So they picked 4 seismic stations out of the 14. They picked 4 seismic stations to come up with a 4.6 downgrade. 90% less than that 5.5. Isn't that interesting? They came up with this 5.1 downgrade, guys, by lowering the seismicity that the sensors reported. And I did not save that down, that original screenshot. I couldn't save it in time, but I saved this one. This is good, almost as good as a 5.5. This serves its purpose. They took 14 stations down, kept 4 of them for their business. This is how USGS gets away with what they do. They doctor the information to what they want people to believe, what they want to show people. So, let me put this out here for everybody around this country and everybody around the world to see. Okay? Maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, when new scientists get here And maybe they'll look up this program and find this information and see that USGS indeed downgraded it, took down 11 or 10 stations, took down 10 reporting stations to come up with their own formula. Okay? Nearly a full magnitude downgrade. 90% of what it was. Okay? It's incredible. This is what they get away with. Okay? I finally caught them with their own game. So now I'm showing it to you, so you will know what's happening. Okay? We've talked about this many times before. But now I've shown you the evidence of what they've been up to. They just think that they're going to do whatever they want and it's okay. USGS, call me. Let's talk. Let's talk turkey. USGS, this information is going to Congress in the morning. I hope that Jim Jordan and all the other congressmen call the director of the United States Geological Survey and the Department of Interior, because that's who USGS reports to, and I'm hoping that they'll get their face whitewashed. Okay? Busted. Busted. Okay? Incredible what they get away with, guys. Totally incredible. Now, for just a couple minutes here, I want to talk to you about what happened yesterday morning. Yesterday morning down in Central America, just 26 miles off the coast of El Salvador. 26 miles off the coast of El Salvador, we had a 6.5 magnitude earthquake. A powerful 6.5 earthquake hit in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of El Salvador. It shook much of Central America, from Nicaragua and Guatemala, which was right next door to it. This earthquake could have actually been thought of as a Guatemala earthquake, because right there on the border. But it shook all of Central America up into the Yucatan Peninsula in Belize, where Larry Smith lived. Okay? It sent residents in some cities streaming into the streets. The USGS reported the epicenter was 27 miles, 43 kilometers south of Intipuca, INTIPUCA, El Salvador, at a depth of 43 miles, 70 kilometers. Okay, 43 miles deep. This may have been down in the area where the plastic magma is, the asthenosphere. If not, it was just above that in the Earth's crust. Some places the Earth's crust that you and I walk on is anywhere from 39 to 69 miles deep. Just so you know, that's not very thick. If you think about how far 39 miles is or how far 69 miles is, guess what? That's between us and the magma below the surface. Okay? That point outside what they call the Gulf of Fonseca, F-O-N-S-E-C-A, where Honduras, El Salvador, and Nicaragua share a coastline. In El Salvador's capital, residents ran into the streets as the ground shook, but there are no immediate reports of damage or injuries, and I checked that earlier this morning. Still no reports of damage or injuries. Okay? I believe for the most part, the water around this 6.5 earthquake absorbed most of the shock wave. It was a 6.5 earthquake. Now, let me show you the heliplot for that. Okay? Right here. This heliplot, folks, let me do this. This heliplot, folks, is very interesting, to say the least. This is from Norway, Spitsbergen, Norway. One of the furthest most points from where it happened. Where it happened, the heliplot was completely blacked out. Naturally, because this was a huge earthquake. No, I do not think it was a major earthquake. It wasn't a 7.0. But folks, they said this was a 6.7. I'm going to take it up at least 3 notches to a 6.8. You notice how many lines underneath the main line of this earthquake it is? 17 horizontal lines, 17 hours of body weight. 17 hours of body weight. If this was indeed a 6.5 earthquake, we might have had only a few hours of body weight. But this was 17 hours of body weight. I counted it. And that's why I'm showing you here. Okay? You can see the little wobble in each of these horizontal lines, all the way down to the last one. 17 hours of shaking over in Central America yesterday and all day long. Okay? So this was actually a 6.8 magnitude earthquake. Nearly a major earthquake. Okay? I wanted to show you that. You deserve to know that. All of you folks that monitor this program, it's a worldwide program. We have people over in where Larry lived. We have people over in Guatemala and Nicaragua and Costa Rica down into South America that watch this program. New Zealand watches this program. We have people in Australia and Indonesia that watch this program. And literally all over the world. Japan. I've had one person from South Korea contact me the other day. So we have people in South Korea watching this program as well. We have people in Japan, Canada, all over the United States, all over Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and all over Europe. The Czech Republic, Romania, all over France and Italy and Germany and Switzerland and Austria. Greece. We've had people in Greece in our chat room. Literally all over the world. So what we're showing could affect you. What we have talked about on this program in past days, weeks, months, and even years has affected almost everyone around this planet. It's incredible stuff, isn't it? When I first started this 4.5 years ago, I had no clue that this would be an entire world report, literally. And that's what it has become. Folks, that was a very strong earthquake, a 6.8 magnitude earthquake over in Central America yesterday morning. And this earthquake that we just got through telling you about, guess what, guys? It was 90 times stronger than what they said it was. It was at least a 5.1 earthquake, regardless of what they have to say. It was a 5.1 earthquake. They think they're going to pull the wool over somebody's eyes? Well, guess what? Not this time. And if I have anything to say about it, not never. Carolyn Martin is talking about an F2E2 tornado hit North Carolina today. Yes, it tore up a small town. I don't even remember what the small town is right now. But it tore it up. Some people may have lost their lives, got injured by a tornado. Folks, just 2 hours ago, no, it's longer than that, 3 hours ago, I wasn't sure whether we were going to be able to come on the air because we had some mighty bad clouds outside. A little bit worse than it was last night when we lost our power. And we still have some rather large black thunderheads that are going by us. Hoping that those clouds will stay away. And hoping those clouds don't hurt anybody else. It's incredible. Grandma Deb says, I live in Carthage and it's headed here. Grandma, please be careful. Please be careful. Grandma Deb says, I've been here 60 plus years, not been set up like this, very strange acting storms and earthquakes every week in North Carolina mountains. That's unusual for us all. But past weeks, a lot. Yes, Grandma, we have been hit with earthquakes here in North Carolina. I have recorded earthquakes in Roland, North Carolina. I recorded earthquakes in Taylorsville, North Carolina. I have recorded earthquakes in Sandy Mush, North Carolina. I have recorded earthquakes at Grandfather Mountain just outside of Morganton. And we have evidence of other earthquakes just west of Asheville that have hit here. USGS would like to call them minor 2.5, 2.7 earthquakes when they're in all actuality a 3.5, 3.8 earthquakes. A full magnitude up from that. Again, the agency doesn't really care, where they would be reporting accurately. But this is the stuff USGS is getting away with. It's like they're trying to kill us, but they don't care. Texas lady, she's another grandma here. A grandson with her. So she knows exactly what you're going through, Grandma Deb. It's affecting all of us. It's really affecting all of us. Now, I want to show you something else, okay? I want to show you the sun today. Yes, this is a picture of our sun. And those numbers are locations of sunspots. The location that you should be aware of, up on the right hand top, okay? Sunspots 3372. See that big huge orange one with a black dot in the middle of it? Guess what, guys? Guess what? This was a major solar flare. The sunspot just to the left of it is also sending out solar flares. The one down to the left center here is 3372. 3372 is active and sending solar flares at the Earth. Both of these sunspots I've just talked to you about are Earth facing, directly Earth facing. The one up to the left top is 3376. That is also Earth facing. The one over to the left is 3377. If that erupts, and I believe it has, I don't have anything to say about it because I've not seen any eruption from that particular sunspot, but if it does at this point in time, today or tomorrow, it will be a glancing blow off the Earth. But these other four here that I have showing you right now are Earth facing directly. And yes, they have released solar flares. Protons and electrons aimed directly at Earth. They reach Earth within about 20 minutes. We've been having solar flares ever since last Friday, and it's been continuous, one after another after another. The protons and electrons have reached the Earth within 20 minutes. But the plasma energy does not reach the Earth for anywhere from 48 to 72 hours later. So the Earth is getting pelted right now. The Earth's magnetosphere is very thin. The Earth's magnetosphere is very thin. Just very thin. When this solar radiation, the protons and the electrons, they come right through the atmosphere, right through the magnetosphere outside our atmosphere, because there's hardly anything protecting us right now. The magnetosphere maybe slows it down a little bit, but it's still penetrating our Earth, penetrating the tectonic plates, going down to the core, heating up the core of the Earth. Then, within 48, 72 hours later, the plasma energy also gets into the magnetosphere, further weakening the magnetosphere, penetrates our atmosphere, and causes sunburns, causes plants to wilt, causes everything in its path to basically fade out. It also causes air-to-ground radio transmission problems between ground stations and aircraft. NASA ground in Houston, the Communist Party in Russia not being able to communicate with the space station adequately. Their data systems are not getting through the radiation all the time. Fortunately, they're in the space station. They do have some protection from the radiation, but it's still affecting them as well. It's getting down to affect us. A lot of people have talked to me and have told me they don't feel good. They've been having headaches. Their mind is blurry. Brain fog. Some people get really bad headaches. Some people get really bad headaches and nauseous. Some people, equilibrium is wacky, so they can't walk very well. Yes, it does affect humans and all animals, even my puppy dogs, my small four-legged kids. have had issues. And you can't explain this to a dog. You can't explain it to a cat, a ferret, a bird, but it affects everybody. It also affects the earth itself. Like I said, the core of the earth and our tectonic plates. What happens? And I've explained this many, many times before, and I may have explained it before we got kicked off the air last night. All that stuff that holds the plates in place, all that muck and grime, the rock, the sand, all the biological material at the bottom of the ocean that keeps those plates from moving, guess what? That solar radiation comes through the magnetosphere, through our atmosphere, and hits the plates of the earth. And all that muck and grease and grime gets heated up, doesn't it? And it turns to a greasy, oily substance. Then it makes it easier for the plates to move. For example, let's go up to the Cascadia area, where we have a Cascade megathrust earthquake just waiting to hit. It's heating up all that dirt and grime and rock and sand and biological material. It's heating it up. And that stuff, that heated up material, turns into that oily, greasy substance, and it allows the plates to move more easily, causing an earthquake. And yes, we've seen evidence of these earthquakes as of late. We've seen a lot of 6s, we've seen numerous 7s. We have even seen an 8 and 9.0 earthquake in past months and years. So this is what I'm telling you. When we have all these solar flares, CMEs, coronal mass ejections, happen from the sun, all that plasma that it takes with it comes and hits the earth. Again, the protons and electrons get here very fast, 20 minutes. But 48 hours, 72 hours later, we get all the radiation. X-rays. And that's what happens. That's what happens, folks. It's no joke. It's real. It's very real. This is one such flare that lit off yesterday. Okay? This is a halo CME. A halo CME. It went over itself and back down again, and then went out. A halo CME, or halo CME, excuse me. A halo CME, and launched out. And what that does, that radiation expands like this, and it goes out and envelopes the space area. And when it hits the earth, it literally comes like this, smacks into the earth, and then goes out like this into a vortex. Any planets get in the way, it goes out into a vortex. Okay? That's what happened yesterday, and it's continuing today. No doubt in my mind what is happening out there. Okay? This is what happened last Thursday. Okay? This was an X 5.1. Nearly a Carrington event. An X9, X10, or an X11 would have been a Carrington event, and sent us all back into the Middle Ages, destroying radio equipment, television equipment, any electronics, would fry it. Our computers, our car computers, everything fried, and take us right back down into the 1800s. This was a very powerful CME that launched from the sun towards the earth on Thursday last week. And Sunday, it took the earth by storm, literally. Okay? Sleeping Volcano is asking a simple question. So y'all, what do you think that radiation is doing to us? It's causing us all kinds of hate and discontent. That's what it's doing. We have another issue. We had a fire start in Oregon on Saturday. Well, guess what, guys? That fire is still going. Saturday night, it was 100 acres. A day later, it was called the Flat Fire. F-L-A-T fire. Yesterday it was 8,000 acres. Today it's 12,756 acres as of this morning. The Flat Fire has spread toward Wild Horse Ridge up Lawson Creek on the west side. This is in southwestern Oregon. Dry vegetation and winds have been the primary driver of this fire. Northeast winds have helped prevent the fire from being able to grow to the north. Wind direction and control lines created by firefighters have enabled crews to keep the fire from moving toward the community of Agnes. The community of Agnes and those farmers in that area, they have a lot to repay the fire crews from stopping the community of Agnes being evacuated for a long time. Heavy smoke will continue to nearby communities and affect communities for quite a while. On Tuesday night, last night, firefighters had successful burnout operations in the northwest sector, and these will continue today if the conditions allow it. On the northeast section of the fire, crews are working to improve roads to increase access to the fire line. The Flat Fire, like we said, has currently been estimated at 12,756 acres in size. 516 total personnel are currently battling the fire, with 7 crews, 7 helicopters, 10 engine companies, 4 bulldozers, 2 water tenders, and 6 masticators to go in and destroy everything in their path. Now, I found out from our friend Daryl that we have an air crew coming out of Cedar City, Utah, north of St. George. An air crew coming out of Cedar City, Utah to help fight that fire. Now, for those of you that live in this area, and I know there are a few, please monitor the Curry and Josephine County Sheriff's Offices. Again, monitor the Curry and Josephine County Sheriff's Offices for official evacuation notices. And I'm going to give you a website now. www.curry.or.us/government/ /county sheriff SHERIF/index.php. I'll give you that address again. The Curry and Josephine County Sheriff's Offices. You can find out emergency evacuation orders. The web address www.co.curry.or.us/ government/county sheriff /index.php. Okay? Please pay attention to this. This is important. Now, on top of that, we have another volcano in Alaska. The Cleveland volcano in the Alaska Peninsula. We told you about the other volcano yesterday. It had erupted. Shishaldin volcano had erupted. I believe it's still erupting. Now we have Cleveland volcano, also in the Alaska Peninsula, the lower western portion of the Alaska Peninsula, Cleveland volcano. The current aviation color code is yellow. Issued today, July 19th, 2023 at 12:18 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time. Alaska Volcanic Observatory put out this watch. There's been an increase in the number of earthquakes observed near Cleveland volcano over the past week. Numerous earthquakes have been detected, and 37 of those were large enough to be located by the local seismic network. Most of the earthquakes from earlier in the week located in the mid to shallow portions of the Earth's crust, less than 11 miles, 18 kilometers deep. Recent earthquakes have been located at shallower depths, 4 miles deep, 6 kilometers below the surface. These earthquakes are minor quakes, less than 2.5, and tremors less than 2.0. But the frequency of events for Cleveland volcano is different. This data, along with satellite observations of several elevated surface temperature units at the summit crater and continued gas emissions, suggest an increased likelihood of a future eruption. In response, the Alaska Volcano Observatory is increasing Cleveland volcano's color code to yellow and the alert to advisory. So you folks over there in that area, and I know there are people that live near there, near the Cleveland volcano and the islands around it, you need to be advised. This is an advisory. This is a yellow cautionary advisory. Get your preparedness gear in order. You may have to leave, or you may want to leave before it happens. Cleveland volcano is under a yellow advisory notice. Giving you notice now. Okay? Despite the current pause today, the eruptive period at Cleveland volcano dates back to 2001. It remains ongoing, and future eruptions are likely. These have occurred without warning and typically generate clouds of volcanic ash that are a hazard in the immediate vicinity of the volcano, though more significant ash emissions are possible. The Cleveland volcano is currently being monitored at a 5-station real-time seismic network. Based on past events, explosive eruptions at Cleveland may occur with little or no warning. Rapid detection of an ash-producing eruption may be possible using a combination of seismic, infrasound, and lightning, and satellite data. Okay? Fortunately, at this volcano, they have seismic devices at the volcano, whereas over at Volcano and over at Shishalden, they don't have that opportunity. So folks in Alaska, you guys are on notice. You may have another volcano about to erupt. You need to take appropriate actions. Make sure you have emergency preparedness plans, an evacuation plan. Make sure you are stocked with food and water and personal items and first aid kits. Know how to perform CPR and first aid. You may need it. You need to be able to bug out from where you're at. Shishalden has been known for throwing out big, huge, boulder car-sized lava boulders outside of that volcano. Shishalden can do it, so can Cleveland. Magma flowing down the side of it can happen, and happen very quick. Lava can flow out from an eruption. Know what to do. Know what to do. Now, I want to tell you another story. And this one really gripes me to no end. This is a law enforcement group, LAPD, that years ago tried to hire me. Those people down in New Orleans tried to hire me. They sent recruiters up into Colorado to hire us. I turned New Orleans down. I'm glad I did, because what I saw when I got down there to help take care of the people after the hurricane blew in, it's incredible what I saw. I'm glad I turned it down. I would not want to live there. And yet there are people that do. Steven Seagal lived there. He left there now. He was a reserve captain for New Orleans police. I shouldn't say New Orleans, for Jefferson County Sheriff. And I developed great friendship with he and his people. The LA police, I turned them down point blank. There was a reason that I left California in April 2000, to get away from the crap in California. Now this story comes to being. All of the law enforcement organizations around the United States, I'm sure that other countries and cities in those other countries have the same problem. Okay? The Los Angeles Police Union leader, who is also a cop, tells the cops to leave the city. One of the higher ranking police officers in Los Angeles Police Department, who is a union leader, has told the cops to leave Los Angeles. He said, quote, "Go somewhere that respects the work that you do." A union police leader for LAPD told its members to leave the force for a jurisdiction that would understand their values and doesn't have city council members who hate the police. In a now deleted Facebook post seen by the LA Times. Yeah, folks, this is where I got the story. Jarita Sandoz, who is vice president of the LA Police Protective League, the Los Angeles Police Protective League, commented on the problems surrounding being a police officer in Los Angeles, as the union has struggled to reach an agreement on a new salary with the city in June 2023 last month. The police union was allegedly written a few weeks before the LAPD's contract with the city expired June 30th. The police still don't have a contract. The Los Angeles Police Protective League said, go somewhere else that respects the work you do and you don't have to beg for a great contract. Go somewhere else where a city council and city manager openly acknowledges the great work that you do. Go somewhere that doesn't have 2 or more city council members who hate you. No exaggeration. 2 city council members out of, I believe, 10 said that they hate the Los Angeles Police Department. They are too woke for the police department. Heaven believes that everybody should be safe. And yet the Los Angeles City Council refuses to give the Los Angeles Police a new contract to work under. Refuses to acknowledge the great job that the police officers have done. The department is steadily losing officers, down by nearly 1,000 as of 2019, 4 years ago. It's now expected to lose another 500 officers through the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024. They're going to lose those officers through retirement and resignations, according to the LA Times. That would bring the number of police officers down from over 10,000 to around 8,600. Union hostility appears to come from poor contract negotiations, disdain from the city council, and even the ban of the police department's right to fly the blue thin line flag. The officers cannot even fly the blue thin line flag. The police chief told the members of the department to take the flags down at the various precincts. They cannot even mourn the fallen officers. LA Police Chief Michael Moore said that it was unfortunate that the extremist groups have hijacked the use of the thin blue line flag to symbolize their undemocratic, racist, and bigoted views. The extremist groups in Los Angeles have hijacked the use of the thin blue line flag to symbolize their undemocratic, racist, and bigoted views. Just like San Diego, Los Angeles has been overrun by the gangs. 2 city council sitting members hate the police. They would likely defund the police if they could. The Police Protective League spoke to the Los Angeles Times and said, "Our comments are part of a larger online thread about officers who stated they already decided to leave the LAPD. And I stand by every word that I wrote. To those who decided or are strongly considering leaving the LAPD for another agency." In a follow-up email, she said that she hoped that the criteria that she advised officers to evaluate when they're choosing to work for another agency. In many respects, the same criteria officers are using to determine if they're going to stay with the LAPD is the same criteria that they should use before they go to work for another agency. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has reportedly set a hiring target to get police numbers back up to 9,500, which is about 1,000 from what they have. The mayor said, "I know that is ambitious, but I think it needs to happen," she said during a budget announcement. That number will reportedly fall way short because academy numbers stay the same. Listen to what I'm going to tell you now. The Los Angeles Police Academy usually has between 100 to 500 academy cadets. That usually thins out to about 100, and then down to less than that. Would you like to know how many LA police officers actually graduate from the academy now? Can you say 30? 30 out of what used to be 500. Now they might not even be able to get that many, because the number of people applying to the LAPD are way down, because the city of Los Angeles does not want you there. Okay? I used to go to Los Angeles all the time. I used to work with LA police officers on many cases. I used to train with those same officers in various divisions. I was a police instructor. My police weapons instructor came from Los Angeles Police. She told me the problems that they had to deal with in Los Angeles. Now it's a joke when you have the city council that won't support you. Even the police chief won't back you in letting you fly the thin blue line flag because the gangs run the city and are telling the Los Angeles police to pack sand. Folks, above my patio today, I am flying the United States flag and the police blue line flag. I'm flying both flags. No one has told me to take them down. And if they told me to take them down, I would tell them to pack sand as well. Go ahead, make my day. Why? because I have got the backing of the local police departments in this area. If where I live told me to take them down, the police would come in and take management to pieces. And I can tell you stories about where I live. For the most part, where I live is fairly safe. Some people don't even lock their cars here. They should, but they don't. I found out the other day that we have felons walking through our complex that don't live here. It's incredible, guys. This is Los Angeles Police that we're talking about. The same thing is happening in your communities, whether it be San Diego, LA, Santa Barbara, San Francisco, San Jose, Santa Rosa, Oregon. Various departments throughout Oregon can't even get police. I shouldn't say get police. They can't even get recruits to come to their police departments because the cities hate the cops. The city's police can't even keep the Antifa in check. Antifa has overridden the police cities, and the police have to back down because the city councils won't give the police the right and the ability to go after these gangs, the Antifa members. Washington State is the same way. That's what happens when you have leftist, God-hating, people-hating politicians that are supposed to work for you. But they don't give a crap about you. Even in Salt Lake City, 3 years ago you saw Antifa attack Salt Lake City, setting businesses on fire, overturning police cars and setting them ablaze, throwing rocks through the windows at the police department in downtown Salt Lake. And my own stepdaughter getting her mother somehow to take her down to Salt Lake. And she got out of their car in downtown Salt Lake and ran up to the line where Antifa was attacking the police. And my own stepdaughter spit in the face of a Salt Lake City policeman. And when I found out about it, yeah, I was sad. And it took everything within me to not whip her fanny for doing that. That is the kind of rebellion that our children are giving the police. One day my stepdaughter will learn. I hope. She's in trouble right now herself. She may learn a hard lesson coming very soon. But that's what's going on everywhere, guys. Why am I reporting on it? Because this is an emergency. Chicago can't even stop the murder rate. The murder rate has skyrocketed in Chicago. They can't get enough police to staff the police departments to even try to stop the murder rate, or the robbery rate, or the burglary rate. The gangs have taken over the cities there. Over in Michigan, yes, they have gangs. But there is a group of people there that would rather take over a country. I believe now 2 cities have fallen to Islam. No, I have nothing against Muslims per se, but I do not want to live under Sharia law. And yet 2 cities have fallen. Their signs are not even in English any longer. They're in Farsi. That's what happens when we do not have the support necessary to stand up for what we believe. Now, I have talked about this for about a week or so, and I've actually talked about it off and on for several years now. Standing up for what we believe. Standing up for what we believe. Brothers and sisters, men and women, friends, family members, friends of mine on YouTube, and I'm not going to give out their channel because they don't need any more hate. There are people that hate me for taking a stand on the movie Sound of Freedom. And I still stand behind that movie. You people that have voiced hatred towards me, you can pack sand. You can pack sand. There's a button up in your top right corner of your screen. You can click it off. You don't have to pay attention to what I say on this channel. You don't have to get words of advice to prepare for emergencies. You can click out. You don't have to be here. The reason we have the problems in our community today is because we do not have enough people that are standing up and telling people no. Telling people that are trying to take over our cities, our counties, our neighborhoods, the villages where we live. We don't have the people to stand up anymore. Too many woke people. Yes, I'm calling you out. Too many woke people are here, and they can pack sand. Go ahead and make my day. I'm a former police officer, and I have taken a stand. My friends on another channel here on YouTube, a very well-known channel here on YouTube, were asked by Angel Studios to view the video on their own and give Angel Studios an idea of what they thought of it. My friend Jeremy and his wife Melissa saw Sound of Freedom before it was released on July 4th. They absolutely loved the movie. The message hit hard and to the point about child trafficking. Trafficking is going on all around us. Yes, folks, the producers of that fine film did not portray it in a fast-moving manner. Yes, they took a little bit of sweet time. developing the story so you could see it. Things happen rather fast in drug and child trafficking, and sex trafficking of women as well. Things happen very fast. The man that was portrayed as the FBI and later the agent from Homeland Security. He was asked by Homeland Security to help retrieve two people. A little boy, 5 years old, and his sister who was 8. He finally gets a 5-year-old. Then he follows his sister, the little boy's sister, over to Venezuela and into Colombia. He called his director of Homeland Security, his direct supervisor, to get permission to continue to search for this little girl. When the agent retrieved the young boy, he got applause when he said he was going after a little girl. He told the agent that she was probably in Italy by now, or by then. And the agent says, no, she's not. She's probably over in Colombia. We believe she's in Colombia. So the Homeland Security supervisor told him to drop everything and come home. The next day he talked to his wife. He hung up on his supervisor, and the next day he talked to his wife. His wife told him to quit his job and tell the government to pack sand, and told the agent that he would be all right. He and his family would be all right. Go get the girl. When he got the boy, he retrieved quite a few children from the traffickers. So he went after the girl. He retrieved quite a few children there. I believe it was about 50 of them. He located where the young girl was. He had to go in by himself into this trafficking camp where this girl was. He found the young girl and under gunfire ran with her out to a boat that he had on the river. He got to the boat with the little girl and tried to put some distance between him and the traffickers, who later found their boat and went after the agent. The agent slipped away while still under fire. The agent got away with the little girl. He rescued by now about 100 children. Got the girl out. Brought the girl back to her father in the United States. There's almost 2 million children around the world every day that are being grabbed, as well as women from very young age children, from infant to 30, 35, 40-year-old women being grabbed off the streets and trafficked. every day. Some of them are in Los Angeles, some of them are in Las Vegas, or other cities around the United States, around the globe. They have to be stopped. They have to be stopped. Police officers are not standing up because their bureaucratic supervisors won't allow them to do their duty. Just as a supervisor for Homeland Security told that agent in real life, no, don't go there. If you do, we're going to fire you. So the next day, after he spoke with his supervisor, he called the supervisor and told his supervisor to pack sand. There's a lot more to the movie than I have told you tonight. A lot more. What I've said in the past 10 minutes is a 2.5-hour movie. Talk about me editing the movie. There's a lot more to it. Please, folks, go see that movie. If you're able to, get your neighbors to go with you, or get an answer from your neighbors that they will go see it. It will change their lives. It hasn't changed my attitude at all, because I've always been against these traffickers. I don't know whether I told you last night or one other time. I helped rescue 2 people. During the 90s in San Diego. One evening I went to work, one afternoon, whatever it was, I went to work, and there was a be on the lookout notice, a BOL, for a young 15, 16-year-old South Korean girl that had been trafficked in San Diego. And every cop was looking for her. My partner and I saw her in a light rail station in Chula Vista, California. We struck up a conversation with her until we were able to take her into protective custody. She didn't want to go with us. She was scared for her life that her trafficker was going to kill her if he found out and found her. We took her into protective custody and returned her to her parents. Not too long after that, and I'm not going to tell you the complete story. I'm going to edit it just a little bit. The only part I'm going to edit is where the people worked and who they are. If I told you where one of them worked, that government organization would come after me. But one evening we got the call to go down to the San Isidro U.S.-Mexican border station. We got a report of 2 men carrying a young woman on one of their shoulders who appeared to be unconscious, walking into Mexico. At the U.S.-Mexican border crossing in San Diego, there was a helix, a path that went up 3 flights like this, long flights. Each helix was probably 500 yards. Uphill. A helix going uphill, up into the sky, literally. And then once you got up to the top of it, you had to walk by the immigration center offices, which were glass, probably one-way glass, because you couldn't see in, but they could see out. The gentlemen that we caught before they got to the immigration office building itself. At first they tried to run, but they were too exhausted from climbing that helix to try to get into Mexico. Especially the one guy that had the woman on his shoulders. They resisted arrest. We made them eat concrete that night. We took them down to the ground, took them into custody. They went to prison. The girl, we were able to revive her. She was taken to the hospital and she recovered. She had to be in protective custody for quite some time after that, because the men who took her gave her the date rape drug and methamphetamine to knock her out. Were part of a group, and so we had to continue to protect her for quite some time after that. I know what this is like, guys. I have been on the front lines, and I haven't even gotten hardly a taste. I did not work on that sexual crime shit, and I'm glad I didn't. As my friend Jeremy said in his video this morning, the reason he didn't want to be part of that group in his department is because it's a very dark group. They have to do things, and they have to be in areas where they don't want to be, to infiltrate the traffickers, to try to stop them and arrest them. That is as close to it as I ever wanted to be. Folks, we need to do what we can to help our law enforcement agents stop this crime, and stop it now. It's only through our participation will the law enforcement officers be able to get with the program and to get it done. We have to stop this crime. I've told you my feelings. I am standing up. I've told you all that we need to stand up for what we believe. Stand up for Jesus Christ. Stand up for our families, our parents, our brothers and sisters, our children and grandchildren. We need to stand in holy places. It is only going to be through God to make this happen. Brothers and sisters, we need a miracle to retain our freedom. We need a miracle to stop this happening. We're fighting a spiritual battle. It seems like a physical battle as well. It's probably both. We can't lose this. Our very lives and our eternal presence in Heavenly Father's kingdom demands it. We can't let this continue. Brothers and sisters, you know where I stand. I'm hoping almost beyond hope that we will find people like us. Invite them to our group. Invite them to this program, Emergency Management Associates. Ask them to take a look at this program. We talk about emergencies, we talk about disasters, we talk about hurricanes and tornadoes. And yes, there's tornadoes, guys. Carolyn told us earlier about a tornado here in North Carolina, destroying a town. It happens. We see hurricanes and we've only seen the remnants of them so far. There's been no full-fledged hurricane hit the United States so far this year. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. As we speak, a tropical storm is hitting Hawaii, the Big Island, and the other islands within the next 24 hours. Heavy rain, winds, flooding. Please, guys, be careful. Do not cross flooded roadways. Do not put yourself in danger. Do not go out on the street and put yourself in danger. Do not ever go anywhere alone. Now that might seem like a harsh statement. Anyone can grab you at any time unless you know how to defend yourself, and some women don't. Make sure you're in a group. Don't be by yourself. Years ago, back in California, North San Diego County, my parents lived in a town called Poway, P-O-W-A. My parents had a lot of friends, as well as us kids, and our friends and their parents. One of my friends' mothers went to Target by herself one evening. It was dusk. She left Target, walked to her car. Someone had broken into her car and got into the back seat. She didn't know he was there. When she got into the car and sat down, he grabbed her around the neck. And eventually he killed her. He took her pantyhose off of her, wrapped them around her neck, and strangled her with their own clothing. Killed her. They never caught the gentleman. He's still out there. They may have caught him on some other crime, nobody knows. It can happen. It can happen to men, it can happen to women. There's carjackings right and left, all around the country and all around the world. I saw one in Sweden on a film yesterday, from this past weekend. It happens all over. Again, we need to stand in holy places. We need to do what we can to help our police, to help our military, to help our family, our friends and neighbors to stand up against what's going on. It's through standing up and being counted as people, noted for loving your neighbors, noted for loving your communities, your states, and your countries. Dean over in England, I admire you for doing what you do. We've got friends and associates literally all around this world. I admire each and every one of you for standing up and being counted. The only way we're going to return to heaven is to stand up and be counted. Brothers and sisters, I can't tell you enough about how I feel. Make sure you stand up. Make sure you stand up. It's important. It's not just important, it's valid. You need to do that. We're not going to be held harmless at the last day if we don't do what God said. In 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, a short verse but very powerful. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and a sound mind. Brothers and sisters, we have it. We have the power. We have the ability. And 99.9% of us have a sound mind. Folks, please do what you can. Stand up and be counted. Be that city. Be that on a light on a hill that can't be hid. You can't put it under a bushel. Be a light unto your fellow men. Stand up and be counted. Brothers and sisters, I love you. I ask the Lord to bless you. You are Saturday's warrior. You are Saturday's warrior. We are here in the last days. There's not much time left. Every day in our messenger groups, in the Emergency Management Associates Disaster Preparedness groups, we hear information coming every day about our political situations here and around the globe. We are Saturday night's warrior, standing true to the faith. True to the faith. Tomorrow I may share a song with you. True to the faith. God bless you, brothers and sisters. I love you very much. If anything else happens tonight, we will be out on the air again tonight as soon as the information becomes available. Friends, ponder the information we have given you tonight. Things happen. We need to do what we can. God bless you. God be with you. Until we meet again. Have a good night, brothers and sisters. I love you very much. We will talk to you around the corner. Good night, everybody.